Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I will be reviewing Track 7 246. This is a flatbed cigar company, Panacea cigars. This is a American cigar company. They grow their tobacco in the Northeast, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because there's not a whole lot about it available even directly from the company themselves. They don't tell me what tobaccos are used in this particular cigar, or any of their cigars really for that matter. I've done quite a lot of searching on the internet, and there's just not much information on these cigars, and I decided I wasn't going to dig any deeper than the first page on the Google search to find the tobaccos used in this cigar. It shouldn't have to be that difficult. You're producing and selling cigars. People want to know what kind of tobaccos are in it because they look for specific origins and specific blends because that's what they like. If you're not going to tell them what it is, the heck with you. I would like to mention that this cigar was gifted to me from a friend of mine, Victor Esposito. Thank you very much. So this is a basic Toro-sized cigar, although box-pressed. It's 5 inches by, probably somewhere in the area of maybe 52 or 54 ring gauge, something like that. It's hard to say when it's box-pressed like this, but something along those lines. Has a nice espresso colored wrapper, very supple, very like a fine Italian leather, unpolished, soft, kind of a chewy pack. It's not firm, not hard, crispy, crunchy, but it's not soft and mushy. It has some give to it, a little springiness to it. What I would call chewy, I guess. Nothing outstanding in the wrapper. Just some basic tobacco notes. Maybe a hint of cocoa, a little bit of bread dough. Maybe. The foot, the same, but a little more intense. A little bit of spice in there. Some basic kitchen spices. Yeah. Nothing real forward up front in your face, but nice. It's subtle. All right. Using a punch cut tonight. Now, although I am moved into my new permanent domicile, and I do have a cigar lounge up in the attic, it's not really set up yet. It's hot up there. It's not insulated. It's a very large attic, very tall, lots of room. I do have my computer up there. Chairs to sit in, that kind of thing, but it's pretty hot. It's hot out today, and it's really hot up in the attic, so I'm going to go ahead and do the reviews outside until it either cools down outside on a more permanent basis, or until I get the attic insulated, maybe get some air conditioning or something up there, or just wait until this fall when it's cooler anyway. But it is what it is. Wide open draw, even with just a punch cut. Not a huge opening, as you can see, but wide open draw. A little bit of leather. Subtle hints of cedar. It's pretty much the bulk of it. A little bit of spice in there, nondescript. subtle, pleasant. All right, let's get toasted up here. Cigar retails for somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it was $7.25, something like that. If you want to find out what little there is to find out about this cigar or the manufacturer, you can Google Panacea cigars or flatbed cigars. Go to their website, they have a little blog in there, but they don't really tell you a whole lot about their cigars. All right. Right off the bat, I'm not getting that typical blast of pepper on the retrohale. There is pepper there, and definitely pepper on the rear of the palate and in the back of the throat and into the nasal mucosa. But what I really noticed was kind of a nutty character. The nut is dissipating, and the pepper note is starting to ramp up a bit. Okay. Now also I'd like to mention that track 7, 246 has nothing to do with trains or the railroad. It's not a psalm. It has nothing to do with Bible verses. What it does have to do with is a music CD, track 7, 2 minutes 46 seconds, and that's all I'm going to say. If you want to look it up further, it's up to you. Go ahead. I had looked it up at one time. I think they even told me what group it was or the name of the album. Never listened to it. Didn't really care that much. Maybe I will one day. We'll see. Alright, I'm going to continue this cigar on. I'll come back somewhere in the first third. See you in a bit. Here I am, roughly 15 minutes in. Ash seems to be holding on alright. Not a perfect burn. A little bit uneven, but no big deal. I'm just going to give it a tiny little tap, see how well it's holding on. Okay, did come off. This is probably at this point, say a medium strength cigar, medium body cigar. The main flavor note is pepper, but there is a subtle underlying sweet cedar character. Don't notice it right away. It's not on the arrival. It's kind of an afterthought. Yes, that's not even on the draw. After you've taken a draw, you notice the pepper. You sit there for a moment and you think, well, what else might be in there? That's when you're about ready to give up on it. You say, ah, there's a subtle hint of some sweet cedar. It's in there. Anyway. Lots of smoke output. Smoke's a little bit dry, but not too bad. I do have a trusty glass or bottle of water, I should say. And this is the only thing I'm drinking with this cigar tonight. Just water. Slight mineral character coming through. Once again, very subtle. And now a little bit of cinnamon, like the cinnamon disc, the candies. Not real bold, but it's there. It's interesting. All right, I'll continue on. I'll come back somewhere in the second, third. See you in a bit. So here we are, probably 40 minutes in, something like that. I'm in the second, third. I did go ahead and tap the ash off. Had somewhere between half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch at the most. Give it just a little tap and off it came. Still has a little bit uneven burn. Haven't touched it up any. Haven't had to relight it. Doesn't seem to be a big deal. No real issue. Just gonna leave it alone. Not a whole lot of changes yet. I don't know that there will be. Typically, end of the second, third, into the final third, that's when I'd get my next set of changes, but that may happen, it may not. Strength is toned down a little bit. No longer a medium plus. It's just a pretty straight medium, maybe low end of medium sometimes. It kind of fluctuates a little bit there. Pretty much still just a dry smoke. Peppery. That sweet cedar character is pretty much gone. I'm still left with that kind of cinnamon disc on the sides of the tongue towards the back and in the rear of the palate. Not sweet, just that, like the spicy cinnamon discs, those hot cinnamon discs. Not real strong. It's not, hot, like burning hot or anything, but that's what it reminds me of, is those cinnamon discs. Still plenty of smoke output. Just not anything different going on really, other than the absence of the sweet cedar. Anyway, nothing really new to report in the second, third. I'll continue on. I'll come back somewhere in the final third. See you in a bit. Here we are in the final third, about an hour in. I've removed the label, came off nicely. And then shortly after that, it started burning wonky. I touched it up. Seemed to be alright for a while. Then it started burning wonky again. I was about to touch it up and it seemed to self-correct. Although when I watch the burn line as I'm smoking it, I see that it's trying to go a little wonky again, but we'll see what happens. It may self-correct again. Got some more changes. The cedar is back, but it's not that sweet cedar. It's a dry cedar. Kind of intense. I generally prefer the sweet cedar, but dry cedar is nice too. Nice aspect. Has that cinnamon note still. A little bit of pepper, some spices. Maybe subtle hints of mineral. Very subtle. Also, I noticed when the burn line was becoming wonky, the smoke had become rather thin. I thought about trying to touch it up, and then it started smoking just fine again, so I ended up not having to do anything to it. And it's burning just fine now, plenty of smoke output. Interesting cigar for about $7.25, something like that. I've smoked other Panacea cigars. I've had, I think it was the Panacea Black is what I had before, quite some time ago, a couple years back. And if I remember right, one I liked, one I didn't like, and everything in between was in between. So that may be the case with this blend as well. I don't know. This is the only one of these I have. Don't know if I would necessarily search these out. It was a good cigar, yeah, sure. Worth $7.25? Yeah, probably. But not necessarily my forte in cigars. I'm happy enough with it. Not disappointed at all. Being late in the final third, really approaching the nub, I probably won't, I will smoke it into the nub, but unless I see some drastic changes, there probably won't be any further updates. So I'm going to go ahead and end this review here, saying that the Panacea Flatbed Cigar Company Trek 7 246 Robusto box pressed cigar. It's been interesting. The most interesting flavor note would be the cinnamon disc aspect. I typically don't pick that up in cigars. Maybe once before I had a short-lived subtle hint of one that had a little bit of that in it, but this has been pretty much throughout the cigar from the beginning to the end. It's had this cinnamon disc quality to it. And then the change from the sweet cedar to no cedar, and then the dry cedar. That was interesting. Other than that, you get your typical pepper and mineral and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm happy. Definitely happy with the cigar. But as I said, it wouldn't be one that I would seek out. So I'm going to end this review here. Thank you for once again watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Catch you next time. So there you have it. I scored the cigar 90.5 points. Didn't really score the nub. The final third and the nub kind of washed together as I scored it late in the final third. So didn't really include that as a separate category. But 90.5 points. It seems a little high, but you know, the numbers don't lie. The interesting flavor profile helped keep the score up. There you have it. Thanks for watching.